So this session, hence, is to kind of decode all of those at length, help you understand, because as creators, what you are creating are IPs. And we say that IPs are more precious than maybe the house you're buying or the car you're buying. We are very careful when we are buying a property. We kind of check the sale deed, we check the agreement, we go to the registrar's office to get it registered or like registered. Why do we do that? So that there is no confusion regarding the ownership of that property, right? But when you're making music, that is also a property that you're not only owning, you're creating and owning. But creators are so in love of creation that most of the times you forget to establish your own ownership on your content, on the property that you have how you created. Hence this session will help you understand where your rights lie. One more very important point which Aranyaka mentioned during the panel was that most of the times as independent artists we are skeptical, and we feel that labels are a place to kind of is absolute no for me as an independent artist, because I may end up losing my rights on my songs, my own creation. It is not that. It all depends on the path you are in your career as a creator. And if you know the rights well, then you can well negotiate it with the label or like anyone you are working with. So if you know like which right belongs to you, then you can always go ahead and negotiate those. It's up to you because you are the creator of the IP, which right to keep and which right to give, and how to monetize those rights. So this session by IPRS is to give you absolute clarity on your rights that you hold on your creation and how to monetize them well. Hence, the session reads as decoding rights and royalties, because obviously you're making music to earn from it, so you cannot just hold it to yourself. Oh my god, I will not show it to anyone or I will not expose it to the market. You have to do that, but if you know your rights, you will do it very well. So all your rights, they originate from a very powerful tool that the industry or the copyright law has given, that is copyright. All your rights originate from copyright, so understanding copyright is very important, and that is the source of all rights for every creator. So, what is copyright? It is not confusing, it is not so complicated as we think because it's a legal term. A copyright is a tool which gives you legal authority on the original content that you have created. And because it is legally protected, you are the owner and you have the legal right to monetize it. And copyright also ensures your right to your monetization of your content. And if it is not done with your consent, then copyright infringement happens. I think most of you are aware of the claims that come on YouTube channels and all. Those are all because of this giant copyright. Because the owner of the copyright is coming and putting that claim on the content that you might have used, and you are monetizing it like because the owner of the content or the right of the content belongs to somebody else. So in music, how does the copyright get established and where all you can monetize your right to your own content? So copyright is nothing but a bundle of rights. For example, now if you have created a song, it is obviously you are writing the lyrics, you're doing the composition. But until and unless you are recording it, the first thing that you do when you are creating a song is to go to a studio and record the music, right? So the first right to copyright, your right is like right to recording. Today, I cannot just go and pick your composition, I cannot go and pick your lyrics and go to the studio and start recording it and releasing it. And the recording leads to the master rights. So your right starts from the very point you have written the thing and you have gone to a studio to record. So the first right that comes under copyright is right to record. As the owner of the content, you have the right to record, or you can give it for license or assign the rights for somebody else to record. So when you are working for a label, you're giving the right to the label to record on your behalf. Obviously, by paying you basis the contract that you have signed with them. The next right is your right to reproduce. When you're recording, you're creating one version of the master. But to kind of distribute it, to send it out, you need to make multiple copies of it. Earlier, you had physical copies of your content in terms of CDs and cassettes. Now you don't have, but it gets distributed everywhere and gets and copied everywhere on platforms, on servers and all. So that is, you're giving the right to reproduce. So that is the next right in copyright, which is a right for reproduction. And there is one more term associated, that is the mechanical rights. The moment it is copied, it is generating mechanical royalties. So as a creator, you are eligible for mechanical royalties because your content is being reproduced. The third is your distribution and sale. I think all of you are aware that when you go to a distributor, we had Believe on Stage, and we have multiple distributors in our country. Only the person who is owning the right of the content can go to a distributor and distribute, right? Suppose there are like three parties to a song, there are four people working together. Only the person who is owning the right to the master, who has done the recording, is going to the distributor, going to a Believe, signing with Believe, and then the song is now distributed. So the third right under copyright is your right to distribute. So as a owner of the content, as an independent artist, you are the kind of lyricist, you are the composer, the songwriter, and you are owning the rights of the song. So you can go to a distributor, sign a contract with them, and then you give them the right to distribute. But a distributor will only, this is very important, a distributor will only distribute your song. They will not own the rights of the song. You have to be very clear on who plays what role in the music ecosystem. So your third right is your right to distribute. The fourth and the very important one is public performance. Today, a lot of artists must be thinking that whenever I go to perform anywhere, the venue or the organizer comes back and tells me, "Hey, you have to take a license from IPRS, you have to take a license from these people. Only then you can go and publicly perform the music." Yes, that is because the owner of the content has a right to be remunerated for the music being publicly performed. Today, you might be a lyricist. You are not performing on stage. Somebody else is performing your song. Because copyright is protecting you, right to public performance is with you. So even if you are not on stage, if your song is being performed publicly, you are entitled to royalties. You have a share of money going back to you as a creator for the song that is being publicly performed. It can be live events, it can be venues where your music is playing, it can be in pubs, in hotels, in restaurants, in trains, in malls, in like flights, like through radio, through television, wherever there is a mass consumption of your music happening, one to many, that is public performance of your music happening. And as a creator, you are entitled to royalties for that. And that is the fourth right that the copyright entails. Like adaptation, we are all aware today about adaptations. There are remixes happening. There are translated like versions of songs coming. But as an original creator, if a remix has to happen, the person who wants to remake the song has to come to you for the rights. They have to come to you, take your permission, pay you the money. And when the song is released, you will have equal share of royalty in the remake version also. That's a wonderful thing. There are a lot of songs, like for example, Jhumka Girare. Jhumka Girare was released in 60s. We were hardly listening to that song recently. But now when the song got remade, now the original creator of the song is also getting royalty along with the new creator. So that is your fifth right to royalty, or your fifth right under copyright, right to adapt and remake. People cannot just, so like a lot of times we hear this, that I want to do a cover version. Do I need to take a permission? Yes, you need to take a permission from the right holder. You have to like pay them the money for doing the cover version, and they will be paid the royalty for for the song being exploited. And the last one is the most powerful synchronization, right? So what is synchronization? Synchronization is when your song is being picked and is put into another audiovisual. As an independent artist, you made the song for an album or for your EP. But now, as an OTT platform, or like maybe Netflix or Amazon Prime, or kind of Geo Hotstar, they are coming up with a series, and they feel that your song is very apt for that web series. So they will approach you. That those are all one-on-one deals that they will directly do with you as an artist or with your manager, and those deals will be on a singular basis for a particular song, for a particular album. They will pay you for utilizing your song in another audiovisual. It can be for gaming, it can be for animation, it can be for advertising films. Wherever your song is being picked up, that is the right to synchronize. And these are big deals that happen. And once that is happening, you are being paid for that. And whenever that is again playing on a public medium, you will get additional like royalties generated from that. So you will be earning twice, once for the deal, and again for the multiple usage of that content across platforms. So there are multiple ways, multiple sources through which the royalties come back to you, and your content, your IP can be exploited in so many ways. But you just need to know where all and how your IP is getting exploited. So this is very important, this slide. This is very important for you to understand as an independent artist, that the song that you are making has two distinct aspects to it. And many of you are not aware, as we heard in the last panel also, that many artists are not aware of the two distinct aspects of a song that is being made. The song that you are releasing through your distributor is the master, the sound recording. That's a separate kind of a product, and that is being exploited and monetized. But as an independent artist, before the sound recording, what you created was the lyrics and the composition. That is another aspect of the music industry, and those are referred to as the underlying works. So, music or the song business is one of the wonderful businesses to be in, because for one product, you get paid twice. You can make money from the master, you can separately make money from the underlying works. And today, publishing is becoming very big in India because people are realizing the power of underlying works. In the past, we had seen songs like female version, male version of songs, right? So the male version and the female version were two different sound recordings. And one term I would like to make here is, I think if you're aware, ISRC. So every sound recording has an identifier called the ISRC. So the male version will have an ISRC, the female version will have an ISRC. But because the lyrics and the composition are the same, so two ISRCs will get linked to the same underlying works, and the author composer will be paid twice. Like whenever the female version is playing, they are getting paid. Whenever the male version is being played, they are getting paid. So, the underlying works, the lyrics and the composition can have multiple sound recordings. Today, why people are talking about publishing, today, why people are wanting to hold the rights of the underlying works. Because if you are owning the underlying works, you can then exploit it in multiple ways. You can create multiple sound recordings out of it, and you're just not restricted to one source of earnings. So you have to be very clear that as an independent artist, you are owning the sound recording if you have not assigned it to a label, and you are also the owner of the underlying work. So you have to be very clear about how you want to monetize this both things. So the sound recording business involves the label. So as an independent artist, if you have not assigned the sound recording to a label, or you're not working with a label for the sound recording, then as an independent artist, you are also a label. A lot of artists today have their own music channel, or like YouTube channels, and so your YouTube channel, or you are a label in that way. So you have to know how to monetize as a label. And on the other side, you have the publishing, which is the publishing side of the business, where you are also the author, composer, and publisher of your own work. So you are now not only a creator, you have actually become a business entity. You are a label, you are a publisher, and you're holding the rights of both the master and the publishing. So the sound recording, as I mentioned, you are going to your distributor to distribute the sound recording, the master. The distributor will never own the rights of the sound recording. If any contract without your knowledge specifies that I will own the master, please question them. See, it can be a separate agreement with them. Then the distributor is also becoming another label for you. But a distributor never owns the rights of the sound recording. They will facilitate distribution of your song to multiple platforms to give you maximum visibility. When we spoke to a lot of independent artists in cities across the country, a lot of time young artists, they have come in because see, they are struggling, they're trying to establish themselves. They come and tell us, oh ma'am, I've got such a nice distributor, and they have said that because I'm just starting my career, they will distribute my song for free. Please understand, nothing in life comes for free. So we just told them, just go and check the credits, what is showing. And if you see in credits, in the bottom, in very fine lines, you have two symbols, C and P. Anyone have any idea what C and P stands for? Any guesses what C and P stands for? Yes. So the C stands for your copyright, that you're the owner of the underlying works, and the P stands for sound recording, phonographic rights. So for this artist, he checked it and he found that for C and P, the name of the distributor was there. And to my surprise, what I noticed is that he didn't have any legal agreement with them, no contracts, nothing. Just on email, he had sent it with nothing, no specification of rights being assigned. So he lost the rights for both master and publishing to the distributor. So be very clear on who is playing what role in your career. On the other side, you have the publishing rights. Publishing rights, you can license or you can assign, or what you do when you join IPRS, you assign the right to IPRS to just license for your royalties. IPRS also doesn't hold the right to your songs. They are not owning the rights. Or today you have a lot of publishers in the industry and market who are working on your behalf. So what is the role of a publisher? The publisher will go and help you monetize your underlying works. They will not work on the master. They will help you to monetize the underlying work. So they will reach out to a producer, they will reach out to an OTT platform, they will reach out to other artists in foreign lands for more collaborations and exploitation of your underlying works. So they will help you to get a sync deal for your underlying works. So either you assign your rights to a publisher or you yourself manage your underlying works, and you also assign your rights to IPRS to just collect your royalty on your behalf. You are not assigning your rights to IPRS to exploit and monetize otherwise. We don't monetize for your sync and all those things. Yeah, this is very important. So there are two ways in which your rights are managed. One is collective and one is individual. So what IPRS is doing collective management of rights. What is that? Today we have 18,000 author composers as our member. So we are collectively licensing their songs. So we have a repertoire of millions of works. So when somebody is taking a license from IPRS, they have access to this millions of works that are in our repertoire, and we are licensing on behalf of 18,000 members. We are not going individually licensing. And once we get the money from a YouTube or Meta or Spotify, basis the usage, the royalty is distributed to our members. So that is called collective management of rights. What your publisher or your label will do or your manager will do is individual rights management. Well, they will go to a producer and they usually do the sync deals. They will individually do the licensing deals for you, and those are called individual rights management. So then quickly about IPRS, it's a kind of a rights management society who is representing then who can become a member, who is an author, composer, and the creator of original works and a publisher. We are representing them. We are monitoring the usage of your works across platforms, across venues, across even outside India. We will monitor your work being exploited through our reciprocal agreements with foreign societies. There are 228 copyright societies across the globe. We have reciprocal agreements with them. So now if your music is playing in US, we will collect those royalties through BMI and ASCA. And we also help, this is another big role that IPRS is playing. We help users to legally play music. We spread a lot of awareness. We talk to users, help them educate that why music licensing is important. Because as an artist, you cannot only survive on live gigs. There has to be a regular flow of income coming to you, and that happens through your royalties. Even when you are not working, even when you are not kind of on the stage, your songs are working like a good investment. We say a good investment is when your money is like working and making you more monies even when you're sleeping, right? Similarly, royalties are that, and a society does that. But even when you are sleeping, you have taken a break to again recreate. Royalties will keep coming to you, and royalties keep coming to you your entire life and 60 years post the demise of the creator. So you are not only being protected, your family is also getting the benefits of your work. So you just focus on creating great music so that monies keep flowing back to you. So our role is monitor, negotiate, license, and collect and give you your royalties. Yeah. So there are two kinds of royalties that come to you. One is the performing royalties. What is the performing royalties for the underlying works? When your music is being played in public, as I said, through live events, through venues, pubs, everywhere where music is playing, that is a live performance of music happening, and that generates like performing royalties. And when your music, suppose you're downloading from a Spotify or any streaming platform, or is getting copied to a server, along with the performing royalties, mechanical royalties are also getting generated. Our copyright law is one of the best in the world, because unlike West, the author composer share to mechanical royalty is also 50%. In West, what happens? Author composers get 50% share of the performing royalties, but the mechanical royalty 100% goes to the publisher or the label. Like mostly it is publisher concept in West. Now the publisher will decide basis the deal and the contract they have with the artist, how much they will give the artist for the mechanical royalties. But in India, as per law, it is 50% mechanical royalties go to the author composer. So if you are a member of IPRS, your 50% author composer share of performing royalties and 50% share of author composer mechanical royalties are protected by law. So one song is generating two sets of royalties, performing and mechanical. Isn't it a wonderful business to be in, song business? Sound recording, masters, like sound recording, publishing, two sources of revenue. Then again, performing and mechanical. Oh my God, so much of money if you know how to monetize it. Okay, so how do you join IPRS? IPRS is a society, non-profit organization. It's a government authorized copyright body, because as per the copyright law, uh, a country like India needs to have one representative body. We are the representative body like authorized by the government of India under the Copyright Act, Section 33 of the Copyright Act. So we are just not any fancy body coming and telling you, hey, give me your rights, I will collect the monies and I will do it for you. No, it's as per the copyright law. And a author, composer, publisher can become a member of IPRS. We cannot keep your monies with us. We just have to deduct a minimal 7 to 8% as our administrative cost, and the rest of the money has to go back to you every year. Even if we have earned a lot, we cannot say that, oh my God, so much of money, I will keep it to myself and I will just give so much to the members. It's our compulsion to also pay you back. But there are many cases where we are also stuck, because in India, metadata is a challenge. A lot of artists, they have joined IPRS, but they have not submitted their metadata. So we have collected the royalties, but we're not being able to pay back to them because the metadata is missing, and we don't want your money to go to like a different person. So it's a non-profit body working for the creator community and the publishers in India. It's a lifetime membership. It's just a processing fee that you pay once for your agreements and all. 1,200 for author composer, 2,200 for a publisher. There is no renewal, nothing. Lifetime, you're a member of IPRS, and post demise, your legal heir is a member of IPRS, and will continue getting their royalties for 60 years. And you need to have at least one published song to join IPRS, and that's it. And some basic informations are needed for you to join IPRS. So, what's the benefit? See, we have been talking about monies, we have been talking about royalties, and the thing that comes to mind is that if I join a society, I get royalties. That's the last thing. Why it is important for anyone today to join a society? There are multiple societies. A lot of people choose to join a foreign society. Yes, there was a time when IPRS was not strong enough the way it is today. So people had joined foreign societies, but today we have a very strong society in India, and we take the pride to say that today we are helping Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Bhutan to set up their publishing, their collective management organizations in their respective countries, because a lot of our Indian artists, their songs are being played and exploited in our neighboring countries. So we need to have a robust copyright body there also. So we are working with them to help them establish their societies. So the first thing is to establish your identity as a creator. So when you join a society, you get an IPI number. Today, there can be multiple people with the same name. Today, I'm Rumpa Banerjee. There can be 10, 20, 50 Rumpa Banerjees across the globe. So when revenue is being made on streaming platforms or any other place, how do I ensure that this royalty is flowing back to the right Rumpa Banerjee? That can only happen through your IPI number. So your IPI number is the Aadhaar number for you. The way you establish your identity, unique identity as a citizen of India through your Aadhaar number, IPI number is your Aadhaar in the music industry. You will be discovered across the globe through your IPI number, and your chances of royalty mismanagement is kind of reduced to almost 100% if you have your IPI number properly mentioned in your metadata. Hence, your journey starts as a creator by enrolling in a society, because that gives you your identity as a creator. Today, a lot of folk artists, regional artists, their identity are at stake because their IPI number, they are not like registered with a society. Like next is your metadata. This is one place where you can control your metadata. You can get your metadata registered the way you want to. So if there is a conflict on any streaming platforms, you don't need to worry, because your metadata is correct and intact in IPRS, and that is where your money is coming. The right is obviously, the first two is correct, then obviously your royalties will come to you. So joining a society is not just about royalties, but about your identity, your credit, and your, this I already said. Because why you need to join? Because as a creator, not possible for you to monitor where all your music is playing. So a society does that on behalf of an author composer. They go and license, they collect the royalties, and they bring it back to the author composer. Similarly, for a user, he cannot go to individual creator to take a license. There also, like societies like IPRS help to license on behalf of multiple creators, and kind of help them to play music without any fear or threat of being of any infringement. So this is how royalty is distributed. 50% goes to the publisher, 25 to the author, and 25 to the composer. Uh, as I said, the author's right to royalty is inalienable in our country. And if anyone is telling you to write a contract or is telling you no, you don't, you're not entitled to royalties, that is kind of null and void in the court of law. Today, a lot of places they tell you that sign a NOC that I will not collect my royalties. Doesn't matter, you sign, because end of the day, when IPRS will collect the royalty, they will definitely like deliver it to you. Yeah, this is what I had to share today. One more thing which IPRS does as a society for the creators. Today we are doing a lot of value-added programs. We do workshops, we do awareness programs. We launched three very significant IPs last year. Collab. Collab is our international cross-border songwriting camps, because we want to give opportunity to emerging talent, because we are a representative body of all creators across India. So we have tie-ups with foreign societies. So in November, we did a camp with Comca. We had Korean artists coming down to India. We had the camp in Karjat for 7 days, where we created Indo-Korean music. Recently, last week, we did an all-women song camp with Sony Publishing. So our aim is to give the platform to all deserving emerging artists. We launched IPRS stage in December at Serendipity Festival. That is also a stage for discovery of unique and undiscovered talent. We did the second edition at Kala Ghora Festival, where we had artists from Rajasthan, Nagaland come and perform at Kala Ghora. In Serendipity, we had a band from Chhattisgarh, tribal artists came to perform. So those are all our initiative. And Soundscapes of India, we launched last September to give a platform to artists to present their music to international festival directors. Today, you might not be aware whom to reach and how to kind of present your music for international festivals. Soundscapes of India is a platform to help you do that. So, yes, all this much from my end.